Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get to it. I was watching a documentary. It's called Get On Up. It's a documentary. It's about James Brown. And one of the characters was playing Bobby Bird, who was James Brown's right-hand man. And he talked a lot about what it was like running with James Brown, the pressure of being in a band with James Brown, having to constantly perform and live up to the hype and always be on cue and be precise, no mistakes. But he also talked about the benefits and how much better it made him. And one of the things he said that I'll never forget was, man walked taller when he walked with James Brown. That's kind of what the story is when it comes to LeBron James. I mean, there's a lot of pressure that comes with running with him. There's a lot of pressure that comes with running with him. There's a lot of expectations that come with running with him. But all the pressure that he has on himself allows these guys to be who they are more, which would explain why man walk taller when he run with LeBron James. Austin Reeves stick his chest out a little bit more. Rui sticks his chest out a little bit more, talk a little bit more, plays with a little more confidence, because I'm running with this guy. That's the mark of a champion. That's the mark of a great player. Guys like Jordan, guys like Jabbar, guys like Magic, guys like Bird. I mean, I could go down the line, and even lesser guys, right? Lesser teammates like Kenny Smith and Otis Thorpe. They walk a little bit taller. Why? I'm running with Olajuwon. Things look a little different when I'm running with that guy. And those guys performed yesterday at a high level. Austin Reeves knocking down open shots the way he knocked down open shots, opening up that offense. The offense looked a lot different with guys like that making shots, because now the defense has to honor him. D'Angelo Russell, the shots that he was getting in Minnesota, they look different in Los Angeles. Even when he misses 2 or 3 shots. Well, he doesn't have to get down on himself because Anthony Davis is on him. LeBron James is on him. Don't stop looking at that basket. Do not stop shooting just because you missed one, because you missed 2. So what? Keep shooting. And he did, which would explain why he got going. Anthony Davis, being the rim protector that he was yesterday, 7 blocks. 7 blocks. That was huge. Getting on the backboard, 12 rebounds, manning the paint the way he did. I was a little nervous when he went out, and at the end of the first half, I was a little nervous when he had that stinger, because Anthony Davis's ability to stay healthy has always been questioned. And when I see something like that, it almost makes your heart stop, because I'm thinking, is this it? Because he's broken down so much, but he didn't. He toughed it out. Right? He toughed it out. I thought that the Lakers did a really good job in spreading out the Memphis Grizzlies defensively. Now, a lot of people are going to look at the box score and they're going to go, yo, Jaren Jackson, he outplayed Anthony Davis. What they're going to leave out is they're going to leave out the fact that Jaren Jackson had zero rebounds and 0 blocks in the second half. And you know why he did that? The reason why he did that is because they put him in a lot of action where he had to switch. And with him having to switch, that dragged him away from the basket. And that opened up the lane. And that allowed for more action to the basket because he wasn't there. It allowed more opportunities to rebound because he wasn't there. And I thought that they did a really good job at attacking the rim. So Rui stretching the defense. Austin Reeves stretching the defense. When those guys do that, right? When those guys do that, now guys like Jaren Jackson have to honor that. Bane has to honor that. Dylan Brooks has to honor that. Now there's no rim protection. And then you get guys like Anthony Davis diving to the basket, getting easy lay-ins. Now, what I can do without is I can do without James turning the basketball over as much as he did. Now, there's a part of their offense where Anthony Davis is a rim runner. So when the ball comes off the backboard, right? When the ball comes off the glass, Anthony Davis will go, and James will hit him in stride. That's part of their offense. And yeah, sometimes he'll turn the basketball over. And I can live with that because that's part of their offense. But there's other parts of their offense where the turnovers They have to get cut down. So James throwing the ball behind his back and turning the basketball over. Him in pick and roll action. Him in pick and dive action, where he's careless with the basketball. That stuff has to get minimized. Now, when I look at Memphis and I look at losing Ja yesterday, that wrist is going to bother him. And particularly his shooting hand. That's going to be a problem for them. I said to you guys before the series started, I said if Memphis is going to beat these guys, they got to do it quick. Because the longer this series lasts, the less I like them. And now with Ja banged up the way he is, no Steven Adams, no Brandon Clark, who was their energy guy, and Steven Adams, who was their enforcer, it's looking real bleak for them. Do you have Memphis winning the next 4 games? Because I can tell you right now, I don't like Memphis in Game 6. And I'm definitely not betting on them in Game 7. Definitely not doing that. So if they're going to win this series, they got to hurry up. And it's looking bleak. It's definitely looking bleak. Since we're on the subject of winning the series, I think Philadelphia can beat Brooklyn without Joel Embiid. I understand how every time Joel Embiid touched the basketball, they were double teaming him. If Joel Embiid is off the floor, Philadelphia matches up with Brooklyn just fine. Everything you got, we got. In fact, we have an upgrade of what you have. We got a better ball handler and playmaker and distributor in James Harden. We got better transition players in Tobias Harris and Maxey. We got just as good of defenders. I don't think that they need Joel Embiid in this series in order to beat Brooklyn. Why Cam Thomas is not in the lineup is still something that baffles me. I keep hearing the logic that, well, he doesn't defend. Well, I think that he can defend enough that he needs to be on the floor because his ability to score, because you don't have that. And because you don't have that, you're at a disadvantage. Joel Embiid tips the scale. Without Joel Embiid, I think they beat them in 5-6 games. With Joel Embiid, I think they sweep them. I don't think this is a series. I do not think this is a series with Joel Embiid. Without Joel Embiid, I think they beat them in 5-6 games tops. Because everything you guys have, we have. Everything. And since we're on the subject of a series, that Golden State series, that Golden State Kings series, that is must-see TV. Let me tell you. That is must-see TV. I'm sitting there watching that, and I feel like it was 2002, and it was the Western Conference Finals. I'm looking at that atmosphere, and I'm thinking to myself, this is necessary. The Kings need to be in the playoffs. Very much like I said, Seattle needs a team. The Kings need to be in the playoffs. The Sacramento Kings are necessary. So we're talking about the best offense in the league going up against the second best offense in the league. And we're also talking about 2 teams in the bottom 10 in defense. So what are we going to look at, guys? We're going to look at 2 teams who are basically punch-drunk boxers. Well, what do I mean when I say that? I think I could hit you more than I could stop you from hitting me. And there was a section in the game where I thought Golden State had an opportunity to take control of this game. They had Sacramento in the chokehold. It was 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Steph Curry cracks a long ball and puts them plus 10. They had them in the chokehold. And they had an opportunity to pour it on right there, only except Steve Kerr takes Curry out of the game. Now, that's part of their rotation, where Curry will come out of the game late in the third, and he'll get back in the game, depending on what the situation is, early to the middle of the fourth. In that particular situation, I don't think that Curry should have come out of the game. And the reason why I don't think that is because, again, they're plus 10 at that point. And they got Sacramento on the ropes. But instead, Sacramento closes the quarter on a 15-4 run, and they get the momentum back. And they get themselves back in the game. That was big. That was huge. De'Aaron Fox looks playoff ready. He just looked like a guy who, I understand basketball. And my game is not going to change just because the lights are brighter. My game is not going to change because there's more people here. No, this is how I play. And he went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry. I thought Golden State, the way that they made Sacramento guard in stretches. I thought that was a big part of why they had taken control of the game at the time that I said with those last 3 minutes in the third quarter. I thought they did a good job at that because Sacramento they don't want to guard. Not only do they not want to guard, they definitely don't want to guard off the basketball. And what Golden State did was when they were moving the basketball and they slowed the game down just for a segment, they had slowed the game down and then sped it back up. That threw Sacramento for a loop. That threw them for a loop, and that's what enabled Golden State to capitalize. Well, Sacramento was able to get back in the game, and now Golden State does not guard the long ball line. And I thought that Golden State did a terrible job in guarding in transition too. The fact that Trey Lyles and Malik Monk gave them the minutes that they gave them, that was huge. I'm a big Monk fan, to be honest with you. I dig Malik Monk. I know that Rob Pelinka is kicking himself because he let him walk out the front door. And I understand it's a numbers game, and I understand it's about money, but to let him walk out the front door, because James loved him, by the way. James absolutely loved him. So to let him walk out the front door, I think that Rob Pelinka, that's one of those things when he looks back on later on in his career, he's going to regret that. No doubt about that. He's going to regret that. Since we're on the subject of regretting something, Mark Cuban's going to regret letting Brunson walk out the door because he looks awesome with the Knicks. I said before the series started, I think this is a 6-7 game dogfight, and I still stand on the logic. I think this is a 6-7 game dogfight. And I had the Cavs in 6, and I'm still picking the Cavs in 6. They have to get tougher, and they have to get tougher immediately because the Knicks have a better rotation. I want to make sure that, let's get to the bottom. Before we go any further with this conversation, the Knicks have a better rotation. People are talking about, well, Tibbs outcoached Bickerstaff. Well, I'm not going to say he outcoached him more than he's just got a better rotation. Obi Toppin, Hartenstein, Josh Hart, Josh Hart might be the best rebounding guard in the league. So when he comes into the game, you know that. So as a guard, I got to do my job in keeping him off the backboard. Because that was the difference in the game yesterday. That was the difference in the game on Saturday. Him coming off the bench, those 10 rebounds is what propelled the Knicks to win. It was the dirty work stuff. I know who Jalen Brunson is. Jalen Brunson is going to get going. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell. He's going to get going. Darius Garland is going to give you solid minutes. What Darius Garland, what Okoro, what Donovan Mitchell have to do, we got to stick our nose in there and help those big guys out. We have to. We got to stick our nose in there and we got to help those big guys rebound. Otherwise, this series is going to be over fast. We got to get in there and help Mobley rebound. We got to get in there and we got to help Jared Allen rebound. Josh Hart can't come off the bench and give them 10 rebounds. That can't happen. That cannot happen. No. You know what else can't happen? What can't happen is Giannis can't be hurt for this series. It's a contusion in his back, which is a bruise, which should heal up really soon because I don't think they play again till Wednesday, I think. I don't think they play again till Wednesday. And Miami losing Tyler Hero for the series is going to be a big deal. But having Kevin Love on your roster is a big deal because one of the things, Kevin Love might not be a great defender, even though I think he leads the league in taking charges. He might not be a great defender, but the one thing he is going to do, he is going to board up. He will get on that backboard and he will rebound. That's why I didn't understand why he wasn't in the rotation against Atlanta, considering how they got destroyed on the backboard. Jimmy, playoff buckets, I can't say this enough, it's a real thing. It's frustrating though, because he doesn't play enough in the regular season for me to start to talk about him like I talk about the all-time greats. Like this stuff that he does in the playoffs, fantastic. No doubt about it. I just wish that I saw more of that in the regular season. So when he elevates in the playoffs, it would just make more sense. I'm picking Milwaukee in this series. I think Giannis will be back, and I think he's going to be the separator in this series. But I'm here for it, guys. And playoffs, baby. You know what it is. You know where to find me. Until then, take it light, but take it.